Okay, welcome to my kitchen. It's messy and it's also dirty because that's reality of a mom trying to homestead. So I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do with my pickles. So let me set this down so I don't have a double chin. That's not gonna work anyway. Whatever, I'll just hold it. So I made the newbie mistake, of not getting out jars and sterilizing them in advance. I should have gone out to the shed when I got home and gotten out. Here we go, we'll do it like this with my dirty dishes in the background. I should have, when I got home, gotten in the shed, got the jars that I needed, put them in the dishwasher, and let them dishwash while I did all the other things that I needed to do. Did I do that? No. So I now have my cucumbers out, and let me show you. Okay, these have been soaking in ice water overnight. They're stiff. Okay, here's a quick tip. If you are, this might be something, don't mind that, I used it for dinner. This might be something that you don't know, okay? Because I didn't know this until last year. If you are wanting to make pickles and your cucumbers are like a day old, 2 days old, whatever, if they're kind of not so firm anymore and they've gotten to a squishy texture, cut them up, such as this, or into spears, whatever you want. Even these, I literally just picked them, and you can see that they, if it'll focus, you can see that they squeeze, right? And they squish. These do not squeeze and squish. They literally are stiff. So, soaking them in water overnight will make them stiff. An added process that you can do if you have the time and the resources is, let me go over here and grab this pickling lime. My husband bought this for me last year, and I was, or 2 years ago, I can't remember. I was a little hesitant to use it, but we are going to use it today. I'm actually going to use that glass casserole dish because I think it's deep enough. I'm going to cut the recipe in half because I had about, I would say this is maybe, 10, 15 cucumbers, and you're supposed to have 7 pounds, which is about 3 to 4 inch cucumbers. Now granted, my cucumbers are probably bigger than 3 to 4 inches, so maybe it's the equivalent to 20 or 25 of these 3 to 4 inch cucumbers, but I'm going to do a half of a cup of pickling lime and however much water will fit in my casserole dish. And I will get back to you when it's done. Okay, I turned my microwave light on, so maybe that'll be better light. So, this is, let me zoom out. Okay, this is my casserole dish with my pickling lime in it. I used half a cup, and I would say that this is probably holds a gallon of water. Maybe a little bit more, I don't know. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start placing these cucumbers in the pickling lime. You want to make sure that they are all separated and that they can all get covered by the lime. I'm going to start with the pickles that I keep saying pickles, or have I been saying cucumbers? I don't know. I'm going to start with the cucumbers that I just cut up fresh from the garden because those are not as stiff as naturally as the ones that have already been soaking. So I'm going to start with all of these, and I'm thinking I'm going to have to take some liquid out. So I might do that and get back to you, or I might just split it between this dish and that dish. We'll see, but I will get back to you when this is completely full. After I get done with these, I'm going to start on these, and I'll get back to you with the finished product. Okay, I've made sort of a mess here, but this is my, all of my cucumbers in my pickling lime, and you can kind of see when I give you this view that they're not all completely down to the bottom, and you will get sediment with this pickling lime, so oftentimes you can take them out and stir them. A lot of times you can just take a ladle and kind of just work it or I literally just had my hands in there a minute ago, but you do want to be wary if you have any skin ailments. I have eczema, so I try to not put my hands in things or really even fully submerge them when I'm like cooking and stuff, but that's just me. You could 1000% do it. I literally just did it, and I'm just going to wash the pickling lime off. But I'm going to cover this, and I'm going to soak it overnight in my refrigerator for, it says 12 to 24 hours. It is 9 p.m. now, and I will not be back home from work until 4 p.m., which is probably when I will get my jars and wash those. Whenever those are done washing and sterilizing, I will take these out, and you want to give them a good rinse. It says on the back of here to fully rinse them thoroughly 3 times in cool water. So I'll probably wash that wash bin, which is usually my garden picking bin, which is why it has dirt in it. And I will probably rinse those in there, and then I will pickle them, which I think actually in my refrigerator I only have a little bit of my mix left for my bread and butter mix that I had. So some more mix, which I actually bought some Mrs. Wages, I think that's the brand, pickle mixes last year in bulk, because my family likes the taste of those a little bit better than a normal regular pickle, but I also didn't have any dill last year, homegrown dill. So this year, because I have homegrown dill, I do not want to be wasteful, and therefore I will probably be using it to my fullest potential and making pickles with it. So I'm just gonna clean up my mess. Okay, I literally just forgot to show you guys, but I took my cucumbers out of my out of my pickling lime, and they were in here, and I used this strainer that I have to rinse them 3 times and filled my jars. I have 4 full jars. This one is like a half of a jar, and I'll probably just end up sticking this one in the fridge. So now I'm going to pickle them. Okay guys, I'm making a dill brine, and I'm waiting for that to warm up, completely dissolve, and come to a boil. And I have my pressure canner warming up. Now, you do not have to pressure can pickles, okay? Please don't mind my clutter, guys. This week is just messed up, okay? But you do not have to pressure can pickles. You can 1000% water bath can them. My water bath canner last year went kaput, had a hole in it. It was really old, and Michael's uncle had given it to me, so I could no longer use that for actual canning purposes or cooking purposes. It was more like antique, so I went ahead and actually got rid of it. But you 1000% can water bath can these. And to be honest, I thought about doing it in this pot, but then I realized that the pot is not any more taller than my cans are. So I could water bath can smaller pint size cans, but I cannot start over. I cannot water bath can quart jars, but I could water bath can pint size jars. But for today's purpose, I am just going to pressure can. And if you have any reservations about pressure canning pickles, I did it all last year, and I've actually just come to find that pressure canning is really easy, and I have better luck with it, and I have 0 of my jars break, and I always have my lids seal, so I have just stuck with pressure canning. So that is what I'm going to do this year as well. And so I'm warming up my pressure canner right now. Once this comes to a boil, which it looks like it is very close to that point, I'm going to ladle in the mixture. This is just, I think, a Mrs. Wages dill. I just want to use up those mixtures, and probably next year I'll get more into making my own brines without purchasing brines. But this year I'm trying to just use up what I already have so that I'm not wasting my money. But this actually looks pretty dissolved enough that I could probably start funneling it in. So I'm going to go ahead and fill my jars and I'll get back to you. Okay, here we go. I'm going to put my lid on this. I have 5 jars because I went ahead and did a jar of okra as well. I've never canned okra in this particular dill brine, but I think it will be fine. I just didn't want it to go to waste, and I've already used some in salads, and I didn't really have too much time to cut it up and can it by itself. So I'm gonna do that. And oh yeah, I'm gonna put a little bit of white vinegar in this water before I close it, because I've heard that I think prevents some sort of sediment buildup in with like hard water, but I might be wrong as to the actual use of that, but I've seen people do it, so I'm gonna do it. Okay, I put my white vinegar in, I just put my lid on, and I put my weight on at 10 pounds. You'll need to look at, I think it's the USDA regulation for your area that you live in, but the region that I'm in, I use 10 pounds. I cranked up the heat just a tiny bit so I can get the pressure building, and I'm going to put this in a container and put it in my fridge, because you can keep this good for, I believe it's a week. And I'm sure that I'll have just a few more pickles that I might be able to use that with. I'm going to stick this jar of pickles in the fridge, and they will be refrigerator pickles. I'm going to wash these dishes up, put my lid away, make a cup of tea, and clean up my mess, and I will show you guys the finished product. Okay, I've been cleaning my house, so while my cans were canning, sealing, pressure cooking, whatever you want to call it, I cleaned my house, and once my timer went off, I came over here and I got a rag and I wet it with cold water, and I took my oven mitt and I used my oven mitt to get my weight off, and I immediately put this cold rag over top of the steam. That is an old trick that my husband told me to do, that his grandma, he always had seen his grandma do, because she always used pressure cookers. So I think she more so used it for pressure cooking, but I think she did her fair share of canning as well. So I have been using that trick ever since last year, and I love it, and it works really well, so I figured I would share that with you. And then after this, I'm just going to take my cans out, and I'm going to set them on a rag and let them sit for 24 hours until tomorrow. I will write the date on them, that they were canned. I'll write the flavor that they are, and then I'll put them in my pantry. So I'll probably end the video here. This was my day, I think 8 technically, of the Every Bit Counts challenge, but this is also day 9, so maybe I'll just do day 8 and day 9 of the Every Bit Counts, that's what it's called, right? Every Bit Counts challenge. And stay tuned for tomorrow, because I'm not sure what I'm going to do tomorrow. I have this dill that I have sitting here in water, which is a trick that I saw to firm it up, and I think I'm going to refill the water because it looks like it's absorbed all of it. But I need to process this in some sort of way. I've seen it being preserved in salt, and I really wanted to try that, but I think I need to acquire some more good quality salt before I really am able to do that. So I don't know what I'm going to end up doing tomorrow. And then I also have these green tomatoes, and I actually saw a pin on Pinterest where you could can green tomatoes for frying for later use, and I also saw that you could do that with okra. So I'm going to read the directions on that tomorrow, and I may end up doing that tomorrow, so we'll see. Alright, see you guys later. Okay, I'm getting ready to go out and harvest before it rains today, but I wanted to show you guys the outcome of my pickling last night. I have 1, 2, 3 jars of dill chips, and then I have 1 jar of bread and butter chips because I had some bread and butter brine left over in the fridge. And then this is my okra. I think that I don't think my ring was tight enough on this, and I had some liquid evaporate, so hopefully that doesn't ruin the whole thing, but yeah, that's my finished product, and I just have to pour the water out of my pressure canner, and